Welcome to Daily Armor. Today I'm going to be in Psalms 121, looking at the whole psalm, focusing on verse number 1. Kind of that's my main verse. But before I get started, I want to tell you how I came about this. Yesterday afternoon, I picked up Avery from school. We come home, we bring her stuff in. I go change Jackson's diaper. She's getting out her, she's wanting some snacks. I've made her some grapes. She's looking in her lunchbox because she didn't eat very much of her lunch, and she knew that. And so she was trying to open up her lunchbox, and I said, baby, do you need me to help you with that? And she said, yes. And then as I stepped over, she got really mad, and she's like, no, TT, no, I do it myself. And she got really, really mad at me for trying to come and help. And I'm like, okay, you do it on your own. And she struggled and she grunted and she was mad, and she did get it. But she struggled and she was mad and she was frustrated. And I'm like, how many times am I struggling and frustrated and mad and angry and all these things that I didn't have to? She didn't have to be mad. It was very difficult for her to get the tab up. She didn't have to do that. I had offered to help, and she even for a second wanted my help. But then she decided, no, I can, she said, I do it myself, TT. I do it myself. I'm like, okay. And then as she's struggling, then I realized that I think sometimes I'm struggling, that sometimes I'm frustrated, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm lashing out when I didn't have to. I didn't have to. The help was available. The Lord was offering, and I'm standing there like a 3-year-old saying, I do it myself, and realizing that, gosh, I'm making it difficult. I'm the reason that I'm upset and angry and frustrated and whatever the case may be. Difficult when we're having to wait, or I'm having a struggle with the constant, surrounded by it, the constant noise and temptations and just stuff of life. And yet the Lord has told me in Philippians chapter 4 to be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication. He's like, in everything. And I started thinking about that, in everything, and realized that if I simply lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth, which means I have access to the one who made everything, which means that everything is possible, that there's nothing that's impossible, that all things are possible. If he is so big and wonderful that he made heaven and earth, he made everything, then there's nothing. That's a resource that we can tap into that, can overcome any obstacle or situation. And I'm failing on my part to ask, or I'm failing on my part to accept his help, because I want to be independent and do this on my own. And Lord, I can do this. I can do this. You've showed me what I need to do. Now I can do this. And he's saying, no, you can't. You might get some things done, and you're struggling and you're having difficulties. And something that my pastor has been mentioning, I don't know, probably over a course of a couple of months, and I'm just kind of probably getting a little bit of it, is this morning, is that he's like, we want to work for the Lord, but the Lord wants us to work with him. And we think that God gives us a job and we're out to go do that job. Kind of like, I guess from being a mother, and I'm raising my children to be able to do for themselves, to be able to handle things for themselves. I'm training them so that they can go out and do, not so that they constantly need their mom. I'm teaching them to be independent and not need their mom. I'm training them, and which, I mean, mine are grown now, so I have done all I could do. But I trained them. I showed them how to do some things, and taught them about this and that, and this is correct and this is wrong, and we want to be kind to others. We want to work hard, and we from young ages, I was teaching them this is, how we cook, and we have to be careful because this is hot, and this is, so we're teaching them and training them from the time they were little, even like Jackson, he's 7 months old now. And, I'm encouraging him to hold his bottle independent from me having to hold it for him. I want him to hold his bottle. I want him to be able to manage those muscles and be able to learn to control those things and build his muscles and all, I can be giving him a bottle and be doing something else. He can have a bottle and he can kind of learn how to do some of this stuff for himself. But as I apply my Christian walk, I'm starting to think the Heavenly Father's not really training me to do that. He's not training me to be independent from Him, because He's reminding me that I'm a sheep and that He's the shepherd. And the sheep have no defense mechanisms. They have no ability they have no sense of direction. And that's where I was like, Lord, I'm needing you for every little bitty thing. And it's such a struggle for myself to stop being so independent, and try to, give me a job and let me do it. Let me be, let me accomplish things. It's all about, you start thinking about that when you're realizing you're thinking it's about me, 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 me. And He's like, no, not about you. You can't handle the enemy. You can't handle the stuff that's out there. It's too much for you. You don't know. Your thinking is not going to be correct because my thoughts are not your thoughts. He says the way you would do something is not the way that I would have you to do it, because your ways are not my ways, saith the Lord. He's like, no, it's not that kind of relationship. It's a very dependent relationship. And so as I am getting frustrated at myself about some issues, and I'm thinking, okay, Lord, you're wanting me to look to you. I mean, He's calling me out to prayer. And as I was grabbing my prayer list and I'm praying for others and praying for others and praying for others, He's saying to me this morning that I need to ask for help for myself. Now let's look at Psalms 121. Psalms 121, the whole psalm, only 8 verses. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Sometimes when you think about you are so void of strength that maybe all you can do is lift your eyes to the Lord. Maybe you don't even have the strength to lift your eyes to the Lord. It's not about the physically being able to bow down, to stand up, to what. It's not about our posture. It's about our attitude. It's about that submission. And sometimes maybe we can even just close our eyes, and in our eyes being closed, we're looking to the Lord because He is our source of help. Because look at what verse number 2 says. My help cometh from the Lord. And that statement right there alone is profound. My help cometh from the Lord. My help does not come from myself. My help does not come from my husband. My help does not come from my family, from my children, from my grandchildren, from my bank account, from my doctor, from my whatever. That's not where my help cometh from. My help cometh from the Lord. And that statement right there is so profound and so powerful. But then look at what it says at the end of verse number 2, which made heaven and earth. His word is reminding us that we are serving a God that does not have any limits, an unlimited resource, unlimited power, unlimited knowledge, because He's our creator and He is the creator of all things. Therefore, there's nothing that's impossible, and all things are possible. Therefore, the circumstances don't dictate The enemy doesn't dictate, no matter how many there are, no matter how much that we're surrounded, no matter how much they're honing in on us and we feel that oppression. What we feel does not mean that that's a fact. The fact is that God is my help, and he made heaven and earth, and he made all things. And so therefore, my resource that I can submit to, that I can call out to, is all powerful, all knowing, and you can't get any better than that. Verse number 3, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. When I think about my foot not being moved, I feel like that faith to stand, faith to hope that, he's going to come through when it's time. And if he hasn't yet, it's because it's not time, because he's still putting those things together just in the right order, in the right way, because he doesn't think the way I think. He doesn't do the things that, he doesn't do it the way that I would do it. I'm like, but he's like, no, because he's has such a better plan. He's got such a better plan. And sometimes we can't understand that. And we're finite and he's infinite. We're limited and he's unlimited. So I think about that, not suffer thy foot to be moved. I think about that standing strong in our faith. I don't have faith in myself. I don't have faith in my surroundings. I don't have faith in others, but I have faith in the Lord. He gives me that. He that keepeth thee, think about that, keeping me. He is in charge of me. He is the one that's keeping me. To be kept is to be hedged about. When I look this up, is to be protected. He is my protector. He is going to attend to the needs that I have. He's going to guard me, and he has charge of me. That's what that keeper means. It comes from the Hebrew. When I looked that up, that it's meaning so many things. He's my keeper. He's my protector. He's my guard. He's got me hedged about. Because I belong to him, I've been set apart. I'm peculiar to him. I belong to him. He's my keeper, and he will not slumber. What's that word slumber means? Do you ever get like you're awake, but you're not? You're like out of it. Like slumber, to be slumber is like, oh, I'm so sleepy. I can't hardly think. I can't hardly stay awake. That's what slumber means. It's to be drowsy, to be sleepy. The Lord doesn't do that. I do that. And so sometimes because I do that, then I think, well, the Lord's busy. The Lord's getting tired of me. He's done with me. He's bored with me. I'm, making him yawn. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Verse number 4, behold, he that keepeth Israel, not just that he's keeping me personally, individually, he's keeping me, but he's keeping all of us. And he's describing that, behold, he that keepeth Israel, the whole nation of Israel. And we know that his hand is on Israel. That's his chosen people. Jesus came through the lineage of the Israelites. And he shall neither slumber, he's not drowsy, nor does he sleep. And he's not, neither slumber nor sleep. He doesn't get drowsy. He doesn't, get like I do, like you do. He doesn't do that. And he doesn't sleep. I need sleep. I need sleep to function well. When if I don't eat correctly and I wake up at 3 a.m, because I didn't eat correctly, I am so tired the next day because I did not get enough of that good recuperative sleep. God doesn't need that. He doesn't get weak. He doesn't get drowsy. He doesn't get sleepy. Verse number 5, the Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. Things may get hot. Things may get you think about that being out in the full sun, and it makes me weak. We live in Florida, and when the sun is out, when you go to park at the grocery store, everybody's looking for the shady spots because the car gets so hot, because it just drains you to get into a hot car. It's dangerous. If you're working outside, you have to stay hydrated and you're looking for shade. You're looking for the right time of the day. If you can help it, you're wearing, if you have to be out in the full sun, you're needing to wear a hat or something to kind of block off some of that sun. Because it gets too much for me, it gets too much for you. But the Lord's saying that He's our shade. When it gets too much, He's our shade. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. We are so preserved. We are so guarded. We are so protected. And I love this verse number 8. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. When I think about all those words, that the preserve and the keeper means the same thing. He preserves us. He keeps us. It comes from the same word. And then that when you're looking up that word and all those definitions that are describing that word, one of it was have charge of. In other words, He's in charge of where I go. He's in charge of my going out and my coming in. He's in charge of everything, and so I need to take everything to Him in prayer. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon.